Good morning from my smartphone to yours. I'm Lovecasting live from the Serious Story Garden Studios in Costa Mesa, California. And this is your Tuesday Namaste Today. Good morning and Namaste, and welcome to Namaste Today. My name is stepº18. I'm a life coach, psychic astrologer, and I call myself the Sensei to Serious Joy. My mission is to stand in my heart and help other people into theirs. This webisode is for Tuesday, November 10th, 2015, and today the Great Human Walk has reached step 18 of Scorpio. So today is a day, I argue, that we're going to make some big decisions and we're going to draw some lines. And let me be the first person to say it. I want to say that, first of all, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I've been changing Namaste Today, coming into myself, and progressing. And one of the things I've definitely decided is that I'm a morning show. Now, I was kind of apprehensive about that because people watch my show later in the day or watch it in the morning. And I also didn't used to be ahead of my shooting schedule, but now I've been ahead for quite a while, so I am a morning show. And the reason I have made this decision is so that I can really help you in your day. I want to make a little web show that it's like kind of goes with your breakfast or your coffee, and over time may grow into more things to help you in your day, but basically to help you on your day, to be your guide, and to help you with your day. So that said, I'm always going to say good morning, not good day. All right, that's no offense to the Aussies. I love my Australians. Good day, Australians. But I will say good morning to start your day. I'm probably going to have to find myself a cool coffee mug because I want to have coffee with you in the mornings. And I'm always going to give you a little summary of your day right away, in case you're super busy. So here's today's summary. I think today is going to be a busy day. I think emotions get very intense as the moon moves into Scorpio. We spend the first half of today trying to get our thoughts and feelings around something. Now, the architecture of incarnation says we're trying to get our thoughts and feelings around a decision. Step 18, ruling the day, means that we will make a decision and we're going to be ready to act on that decision. And step 18 is my favorite step, by the way, because I'm a step 18 Taurus. So I don't care if you're a step 18 Scorpio, step 18, it doesn't matter. I love my step 18s. It's my favorite part of the human consciousness. And that's what these steps are. These steps are all different degrees of human consciousness or of the human story. And step 18 is the part of the story where you're ready to decide. And as soon as you decide, you're going to act on it. And that's like, when we walk into a car dealership and we know we can buy today, we know we can. That's a step 18 day. You can decide and buy. You can do it. It's not a matter of if or when. It's now. And to me, that's the most exciting time to be alive. I, as a soul, is like, I want to be right there all the time. Step 18. Decide, act. Decide, act. And I guess that's my Taurus indulgence. You're like, are you indulgent, Chris? It's like, yes. In many things, but in the weirdest things. Deciding and acting is one of them. So today it's time to decide and act. And so I think the first half of the day, people are trying to get their emotions around making up their mind. The second half of the day, you've made your decision. Now maybe you're starting to plan to act. And I think that's going to be the two-part day. So it's an intense day. The moon is in Scorpio, which means our emotions are very much a part of everything. Thoughts, emotions, and heart all right there. So whatever the decision is, whatever you're moving forward with, it may seem very personal, may seem very intense. That's because the human consciousness is really kind of compacted right there over that energy, with that energy. So today's topic is one designed to help you here. And today's topic is action boundaries. That is, what are the appropriate boundaries one should draw before moving into action, before taking action? And I've often shared that I have horrible boundaries, and that's true. I don't have the greatest boundaries in the world. It's been something I've not cared so much about. But because I'm a step 18 guy, and because I love to decide and act, I actually have always been very conscientious and mindful of the boundaries necessary to protect my action. In fact, a lot of people I find resist taking action in their life or resist making decisions because they're afraid something will go wrong when it goes down, right? And I think a lot of times, your fear of something going wrong when it goes down is actually that you haven't gone through the time and space to protect, the action to protect the actual transition of it, right? Whenever you actually move into action. So let's give you some examples of what I mean by this. I think it will help you in your life and will also calm you and help you take action. Let's do our 5 o'clock question. The 5 o'clock question is, where is a place in life that you tend to go too far? All right, because we're talking about boundaries in Scorpio. Where is a place in life that you tend to go too far? First of all, just think of a place you go too far. You say too much, or you just push too far with someone. All right. And the second thing is, what is an alternative action boundary you could have taken? All right. So you might have gone too far because there was no action boundary, that you had no boundary of conscience whatsoever. You just, once you decide to do something, you just throw yourself into traffic and you don't even think about a parachute. I would think a parachute is an action boundary, by the way. You're going to jump out of a plane. Action boundary is this parachute is going to stop you from hitting the ground. Okay, that's the boundary. So it's like we always have to have some sort of parachute or some sort of action boundary when we're going to jump out of a plane, when we're going to move forward. And a lot of times people go too far and get hurt because they didn't even have one. They didn't have a parachute. They had no action boundary whatsoever. I will just share from my youth where I used to go too far. I have to say, I didn't drink. First of all, I didn't drink until I was age 28. Yeah, until I was age 28. I had like a glass of wine or something in my early 20s, but I just had a very unnatural, very healthy 20s. And then when I did start to drink, because I gotten divorced and I was out there suddenly single and experiencing this world, I found that I had a problem drinking too much. Like, I had an action boundary with drinking. I would always find myself drunk. Now, did not drive, I would sleep in my car, like all sorts of crazy stuff, take taxis, I got around it, but I was very upset. I was like, I must be able to handle this like a man, right? Like, or whatever, like an adult, it's not even a male-female thing. So I had really no action boundary. Like, my action boundary was, when I start to feel myself get drunk, I'll stop. That was my action boundary, and it was like, or when I start to feel myself get sloppy. Well, the mechanics of that, it's like things hit you. You might have eaten dinner, not eaten dinner. Like, I learned all the wrong ways playing it that way. So then finally, I installed a new action boundary, which was every time I have a drink, I have to follow it with a bottle of water. So my action boundary was always follow a drink with a bottle of water, which kept me in the bathroom, but it also kept me from getting drunk. My new action boundary is I don't even go out. The new action is like, my body doesn't like alcohol. Like, every time I've skirted over that again, I feel miserable the next day. So the action boundary has changed even further. The point is that once I had thought about my action boundary and employed it, I was able to keep myself from going too far. And a lot of times it's about having that boundary set before you begin. In fact, in my experience, a lot of, for instance, my text message service, sometimes I will report, serious alert, this could happen, serious alert, that could happen. What I'm doing is creating action boundaries. I'm forcing my clients into action boundaries. They're saying, well, if that in their mind, they're going, well, if that happens, I'll do this, if that happens. And so they're set. 90% of the time when there's an action boundary, you don't have a problem at all. You don't have a problem with the action. You don't have something if you take the action. Because if you take the conscious moment to think through it, it just doesn't manifest because we are creating our manifestation. So action boundaries are very important and powerful. Now, an alternative action boundary, well, I gave it my example. It's like I've had 2 alternatives so far. It's like the first alternative was I think I'm going to have a bottle of water every other drink, and the next alternative boundary was I think I'll stay in, I don't know if I need to go in that scene. It's not helping me. I've never won, but my ego just would not give up. It wanted to try. So, that's the other hard part about being a step 18 is don't tell me no. Because if I decide and act, I feel like this right to decide and act whenever I want to, and I sure as hell take it. So people go, that's Taurus. I'm like, that's step 18 Taurus. So without further ado, let's check out what my guides have to say with action boundaries today and give you any extra advice along the way. Okay, so interesting. Mercury is what comes to mind, and boy, does it. So Mercury's at step 13. That basically means that today, step 13 Scorpio, and we're on countdown to basically drawing some sort of line. And this will probably be some sort of monumental line. I wouldn't be surprised if someone exits the race, Republican, Democrat, or there's some sort of big line change here between Tuesday, November 10th and Wednesday, November 11th. Just because, something is going to be drawn that sticks. So really, it's about changing our mind. And maybe our mind has changed, is what my guys are showing. It's like maybe your mind's already there, like you're already thinking this is the way it's going to be, but every time you think about it, your feelings get all freaked out. So really, the first half of the day, like I said earlier in the summary, is about getting either your mind on board your feelings or your feelings on board your mind. Now, in most cases, when we're trying to draw a boundary, we're usually trying to get our feelings on board our mind. Our mind is saying, I know you're used to feeling it this way. I know you're used to feeling it getting your own way, or I know you're used to feeling it this way. And your mind is going, but we have to go here. So it's like, like you have to hold, so your mind is, is really what has to be strong today. And you know me, most of the time I'm giving people counsel for the mind to shut up and listen to the heart. But today I think the mind does take lead, and it's a big player in the decision making. The mind is what holds the decision and what keeps it up like a play card for everyone. Like, hey, we decided, right, self? We decided. Right? So it is time to decide, and most of today is about deciding. I mentioned this yesterday too, incidentally, about Saturn has crossed over to step 5. That means, really it's just time for people to really decide officially with themselves and drink the Kool-Aid. Because there's a whole lot of fun once you decide you are this, that, or not this, or not going to, or will, or, whatever. And again, now they're telling me, the moon today in particular, in very early stages, there's a lot of sevens. There's a lot of holy sevens. So God universe is telling you the way it is, the way it will be, and the way you signed up for it. Okay, so if you listen, the answer is there. What I'm picking up on is that emotionally you want to, the first half of the day is about listening. The second half of the day is about talking. So listen first and see what your own intuition says, then go investigate the world and see if it's right. Okay? If evidence of the world comes first before you've asked yourself, you will doubt yourself. So you need to have your vote before any evidence right off the bat. Then go see what the evidence is. That's the advice they're giving, and that's a boundary advice. The last thing I'm just going to say is Jupiter's also at step 18 Virgo. So it's very likely that this is a coordinated decision that people are making decisions that draw a certain line, but it's also probably a very physical reality decision of Jupiter and Virgo, like a new job, a new business, a divorce, a this, a that, an extension of the house, hair extensions, okay, like whatever. And that's where I'm going to leave it right now. So Mars is at 26, really that high? No, 28. So Mars is at 28 Virgo. So today in the next 24 hours is the important day. Definitely listen to your intuition before you make these calls. And, I will say this, don't screw around. It's not like you can't reverse your decision, but really this is it, folks. We're making some sort of a call, and we're going to be on this path for a while. So decide with your heart. Okay. Hey friends, if you're watching on YouTube, please be kind and do subscribe. If you'd like to watch this show without any commercials, come on down to the mothership at soulgarden.tv. Incidentally, I've gotten a lot of comments to change the comment system on my website. I'm looking into it right now, so please be patient. We're doing that for you. And if you would like to follow me on Twitter, I am Siwateki. And if you'd like to follow me on Facebook at soulgarden.me. All right, my friends. Good luck on your decisions. I'll see you back here in 24 hours with more. I hear Bella in the background. She has got something to tell me, so I'll let you know what she has to say. It's new moon tomorrow. Until then, remember I love you, and live, love, be. So